What if I told you that humanity's greatest threat isn't climate change, nuclear war, or artificial intelligence, but something far more terrifying? What if the very act of announcing our existence to the universe was equivalent to painting a target on Earth's back? Today, we're diving deep into Liu Cixin's masterpiece, The Dark Forest, the second book in the legendary three-body trilogy that completely revolutionized science fiction and left readers questioning everything they thought they knew about our place in the cosmos. This isn't just another alien invasion story, this is a philosophical gut punch that explores the darkest implications of contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. Liu Cixin doesn't just imagine first contact, he creates a framework that explains why the universe might be far more dangerous than we ever imagined. The Dark Forest theory presented in this book is so compelling that it's been seriously discussed by actual scientists and has fundamentally changed how many people think about the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. If you've ever wondered why we haven't encountered alien life despite the vastness of the universe, if you've pondered whether we should be broadcasting our location into space, or if you're fascinated by the intersection of hard science and cosmic horror, this video is absolutely essential viewing. We're going to break down everything you need to know about this mind-bending novel that asks the ultimate question. In a universe full of civilizations, why is everyone hiding? The Dark Forest represents the second installment in Liu Cixin's groundbreaking Remembrance of Earth's Past trilogy, following the Hugo Award winning The Three-Body Problem. Published originally in Chinese in 2008 and translated into English by Joel Martinson in 2015, this novel catapulted Chinese science fiction onto the global stage and established Liu Cixin as one of the most important contemporary voices in speculative fiction. What sets The Dark Forest apart from typical science fiction isn't just its scope, but its unflinching examination of civilizational psychology on a cosmic scale. Liu Cixin brings his background as a computer engineer and his deep understanding of both Chinese history and Western scientific thought to create a narrative that feels simultaneously ancient and futuristic. The novel grapples with concepts that extend far beyond entertainment, touching on game theory, evolutionary biology, military strategy, and the fundamental nature of survival in a hostile universe. The book's title derives from a chilling metaphor that reimagines the cosmos not as a vast, empty frontier waiting for exploration, but as a dark forest filled with hidden hunters, each armed and terrified of the others. This central conceit transforms every assumption we hold about space exploration, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, and humanity's destiny among the stars. Liu Cixin's approach combines rigorous scientific speculation with deeply human storytelling, creating characters who must navigate not only the immediate threat of alien invasion, but also the psychological and sociological upheaval that comes with knowing humanity is not alone. The novel operates on multiple timescales, from intimate personal moments to epical civilizational shifts, weaving together hard science concepts with profound questions about morality, sacrifice, and what it truly means to preserve human civilization when faced with overwhelming odds. The Dark Forest picks up where the three-body problem left off, with humanity reeling from the revelation that the Trisolaran civilization will arrive on Earth in approximately 400 years. The alien fleet travels at near light speed, but more immediately threatening is the presence of Sophon's subatomic particles that can monitor all human activity and sabotage scientific research, effectively ending humanity's technological advancement. Faced with this seemingly impossible situation, the United Nations establishes the Planetary Defense Council and implements the Wallfacer project. This desperate initiative selects 4 individuals who must develop secret plans to defend Earth using only their minds, since Sophons cannot read human thoughts. These Wallfacers receive unlimited resources and authority to pursue strategies that must remain hidden even from their closest allies. The 4 chosen Wallfacers represent different approaches to humanity's survival. Frederick Tyler focuses on creating a space military fleet, Manuel Ray explores exotic weapons technologies, Bill Hines investigates enhancing human mental capabilities, and Luoji, a Chinese sociologist who initially wants nothing to do with the project, becomes central to humanity's ultimate survival strategy. As decades pass, each Wallfacer faces opposition from wallbreakers, individuals who dedicate themselves to exposing and destroying the secret plans. The novel follows these psychological chess matches while exploring how human society transforms under the constant threat of inevitable invasion. Some embrace defeatism, others pursue escapism, and many simply try to live normal lives despite knowing their civilization faces extinction. The story culminates when Luoji discovers the dark forest theory, a cosmic sociology principle that explains the Fermi paradox and provides humanity with its only viable defense against superior alien civilizations through a strategy of mutually assured destruction on an interstellar scale. The Wallfacer project represents the novel's most fascinating exploration of strategic thinking under impossible constraints. Liu Cixin creates a scenario where traditional military and diplomatic solutions become meaningless because the enemy possesses perfect surveillance capabilities. The four Wallfacers must essentially conduct psychological warfare against themselves, creating plans so convoluted and secret that even they sometimes lose track of their true intentions. Frederick Tyler's approach involves creating a massive space fleet, but his real strategy focuses on using the fleet's departure as a filtering mechanism to identify the most capable humans for survival. His plan ultimately fails when his Wallbreaker exposes that Tyler intends to abandon Earth rather than defend it, revealing how desperation can corrupt even well-intentioned strategies. Manuel Rey's pursuit of ball lightning weapons showcases Liu Cixin's ability to blend cutting-edge physics with military applications. Rey's research into macroelectrons and quantum phenomena demonstrates how desperate situations can accelerate scientific discovery, but his assassination by his Wallbreaker illustrates how the project's secrecy creates vulnerabilities that enemies can exploit. The novel shows how Rey's work contributes to later defensive strategies even after his death, suggesting that failed plans can still provide valuable foundations for future success. This subplot emphasises that in existential conflicts, even failures contribute to the overall survival strategy. Bill Hines' investigation into enhanced human cognition presents the most psychologically complex Wallfacer strategy. His research into mental enhancement technologies and his relationship with his wife Keiko creates personal stakes that mirror the civilizational ones. When Hines' plan is exposed to involve essentially lobotomizing humanity to make people accept defeat, it reveals how the pressure of being a Wallfacer can drive individuals towards solutions that destroy the very thing they're trying to save. His storyline demonstrates psychological pressure can corrupt judgment, and that the burden of saving humanity might be too great for any individual to bear effectively. Luoji's reluctant participation in the Wallfacer project forms the novel's emotional and intellectual core. Initially wanting nothing more than to live comfortably while the world ends, Luoji's character arc transforms from selfish hedonism to reluctant heroism to cosmic understanding. His relationship with his imagined perfect woman, later materialized through Wallfacer resources, creates a personal anchor that helps him maintain sanity while grappling with impossible responsibilities. The novel uses his personal journey to explore how individuals can find meaning and purpose even when facing insurmountable odds, and how love and human connection can provide motivation for the most desperate actions. The hibernation technology subplot allows Liu Cixin to explore how individuals might psychologically cope with knowing about long-term existential threats. Characters who choose hibernation represent different approaches to temporal displacement, from those seeking to skip past the crisis to others hoping to witness humanity's ultimate fate. The novel examines how these choices affect both the individuals making them and the society they leave behind, creating philosophical questions about responsibility, sacrifice, and the nature of commitment to future generations. The discovery of the dark forest theory represents the novel's intellectual climax and its most significant contribution to science fiction literature. Luoji's realization that the universe operates like a dark forest where every civilization must remain hidden or face destruction provides both an elegant solution to the Fermi paradox and a terrifying framework for understanding interstellar relations. The theory suggests that any civilization that reveals its location will be destroyed by others seeking to eliminate potential future threats, creating a cosmic standoff where survival depends on maintaining absolute secrecy while being prepared to destroy others who reveal themselves. The climactic confrontation between Earth and the Trisolaran probe demonstrates the practical application of Dark Forest's theory through mutually assured destruction on an interstellar scale. When Luoji threatens to broadcast both Earth's and Trisolaris' locations to the universe, he creates a deterrent that forces the Trisolarans to negotiate rather than simply conquer. This resolution shows how understanding cosmic sociology can provide strategic advantages that compensate for technological inferiority, but it also establishes the precarious balance that will define human Trisolaran relations going forward. The establishment of the deterrent system at the novel's end creates a new status quo where humanity survives not through victory, but through the constant threat of mutual annihilation. This conclusion reflects Liu Cixin's sophisticated understanding of game theory and military strategy, showing how weaker parties can achieve security through credible threats of catastrophic retaliation. The novel ends with humanity having bought time and survival, but at the cost of living under constant threat and having to maintain a weapon system that could destroy both civilizations if activated. The first crucial lesson from The Dark Forest concerns the fundamental nature of survival in competitive environments. Liu Cixin demonstrates that when resources are limited and stakes are existential, traditional concepts of morality and cooperation become secondary to survival. The novel shows how civilizations, like individuals, will prioritize their own continued existence above all other considerations when faced with genuine threats. This principle applies not just to interstellar conflict, but to any situation where different groups compete for finite resources or face existential risks. The second takeaway explores the concept of strategic deception and information warfare in asymmetric conflicts. The Wallfacer project illustrates how weaker parties can compete against superior opponents by controlling information and creating uncertainty about their true capabilities and intentions. This lesson extends beyond military applications to business, politics, and personal relationships, showing how strategic ambiguity can provide advantages that direct confrontation cannot achieve. The novel demonstrates that in information-rich environments, the ability to control what others know about your plans can be more valuable than superior resources or technology. The third key insight examines the psychological costs of bearing ultimate responsibility for civilizational survival. Through the Wallfacer's experiences, Liu Cixin shows how individuals can be crushed by the weight of impossible decisions and how the pressure of saving everyone can lead to solutions that destroy what they're trying to preserve. This lesson applies to leadership in any high-stakes situation, illustrating why effective leaders need support systems and why distributing responsibility can prevent the kind of psychological breakdown that leads to catastrophic decision-making. The fourth takeaway concerns the relationship between technological advancement and strategic thinking. The novel shows how sophon interference forces humanity to rely on psychological and strategic advantages rather than technological solutions, demonstrating that intelligence and creativity can sometimes compensate for technological disadvantage. This principle has applications in any competitive field where direct resource comparison suggests inevitable defeat, showing how innovative thinking can identify unexpected paths to success. The fifth lesson involves understanding the long-term consequences of revealing information about capabilities and intentions. The Dark Forest theory serves as a metaphor for any situation where showing strength or revealing plans might invite preemptive attacks from competitors. This insight applies to business strategy, international relations, and personal competitive situations, suggesting that sometimes the wisest approach is to maintain capabilities quietly while projecting carefully calculated impressions about strengths and weaknesses. The sixth key point explores how existential threats can accelerate both innovation and social change. Throughout the novel, the Trisolaran threat drives humanity to develop new technologies, social structures, and ways of thinking at unprecedented speeds. This demonstrates how crisis can serve as a catalyst for positive change, but also shows how the same pressures can lead to destructive adaptations. Understanding this dynamic helps in both creating beneficial pressure for improvement and recognizing when crisis-driven changes might be harmful. The seventh takeaway examines the concept of deterrence and mutually assured destruction as tools for maintaining peace between unequal powers. Luoji's solution shows how weaker parties can achieve security by making conflict too costly for stronger opponents, but also demonstrates the psychological and social costs of living under constant threat of annihilation. This lesson applies to any relationship where power imbalances create potential for exploitation, showing how credible threats of mutual harm can establish stability even when cooperation seems impossible. The eighth insight concerns the importance of thinking on multiple timescales when dealing with long-term challenges. The novel spans centuries and shows how decisions made in one era can have profound consequences decades or centuries later. This perspective is crucial for addressing contemporary challenges like climate change, technological development, and social policy, demonstrating why short-term thinking often leads to long-term catastrophe and why sustainable solutions require patience and long-term commitment. The Dark Forest stands as more than just science fiction entertainment. It functions as a philosophical framework for understanding competition, survival, and strategic thinking in any high-stakes environment. Liu Cixin's masterpiece forces readers to confront uncomfortable truths about the nature of civilizational conflict and the potential costs of survival in a universe that may be far more dangerous than our optimistic projections suggest. The novel's most lasting contribution lies in its dark forest theory, which has transcended fiction to influence serious discussions about the search for extraterrestrial intelligence and humanity's approach to interstellar communication. Scientists and philosophers continue debating whether Liu Cixin's cosmic sociology provides a realistic explanation for the apparent absence of detectable alien civilizations, demonstrating how powerful speculative fiction can reshape our understanding of real-world possibilities. Perhaps most importantly, The Dark Forest illustrates how individuals can find meaning and purpose even when facing seemingly impossible odds. Through Luoji's journey from selfish hedonism to reluctant heroism, the novel shows that personal growth and civilizational survival can be achieved simultaneously, but only through accepting difficult truths about the nature of existence and the costs of survival. The book's enduring power comes from its refusal to provide easy answers or comfortable solutions. Instead, Liu Cixin presents a universe where survival requires constant vigilance, strategic thinking, and the willingness to make morally complex decisions. This harsh but realistic perspective prepares readers for a world where challenges may not have perfect solutions, but where intelligent action can still make the difference between extinction and survival, making The Dark Forest essential reading for anyone seeking to understand our place in an uncertain cosmos.